The Planning Board and Board of Selectmen are being asked to rezone a piece of property along Old Wharf Road to rural residential. To consider this, the boards should understand what exactly is a rural residential zoning district. The rural residential zoning district was created to preserve open space, enhance scenic views, and protect the environment of our more sensitive areas in town. The rural residential zoning district dates back to 1973 and was originally drawn to protect the environmental resources along Chase Garden Creek, Sissuit, and Quivet Creek. The boundaries were carefully drawn for these areas as far back as 1973, when lot requirements were 30,000 square feet to avoid most developed land areas. Pockets of existing developed areas were surrounded by the rural residential designation rather than placing homes into immediate non-conforming status. The rural residential designation covered marsh areas, farms, and significant undeveloped tracts of land along the sensitive water bodies. The boundaries ended at street lines and property boundaries of properties developed prior to 1973. The petitioned zoning change does not reflect either the history of the rural residential zoning district, nor does it match its intent of protecting low-density, environmentally sensitive areas from development. To be consistent with how the rural residential zone was originally created, the petition would need to focus on the northerly, undeveloped portion of the area petitioned, along with the undeveloped areas in and around the Plashes conservation land. It should also be noted the proposal does not offer the protections it promises to the existing cottage owners. The Board of Appeals, as it did at Campers Haven, may approve changes to properties as long as they determine the change is not substantially more detrimental than the pre-existing non-conforming use. The petition also contradicts the planning efforts undertaken this past year to address the long-term future of the cottage and recreational vehicles in town. The seasonal resort community zoning that comes from these efforts was recommended unanimously to town meeting by the Planning Board. The proposal is also not consistent with the Dennis Master Plan recommendations going as far back as 1968. Local comprehensive plans have always recommended this area as being a center of our local tourism economy. The petition proposal, by proposing to make the properties more non-conforming, impedes the implementation of the Dennis Local Comprehensive Plan. The Dennis Planning Board will hold its hearing on this petition on November 15, 2010 at 7 p.m., and it will make its recommendation to town meeting at that time.